something, seeing something, you hear the news, you think that you probably live in the worst place that exists. And it's only because you've not lived outside. This is something I found, some of the things I started collecting recently. But do you know what a washboard is? The old-timey washboard. You see them hanging, people buy them and they'll hang them in the house. They're, and you do your clothes on them. Do you know that still today in 2024 that about 3 billion people still use a washboard? You think about that. 3 billion people in the world still use a washboard to wash their clothes. And I don't even think anything about it. So if you don't think you live in the greatest nation in the world, regardless of your social, economical background, regardless of what state you're from, regardless of your skin color, if you don't think you live on the greatest nation in the world, go home and unplug your washer and dryer and go get you a washboard and start washing your clothes on a washboard and hang them on a line. And you'll find out real quick. You'll find out real quick where you live. So awesome. I thank you. I thank you. Well, I hope everything's going good. I am glad to be back. We shot up to the mountains on Tuesday. I went and picked my wife up and brought her back. She was kicking and screaming. I'm not gonna lie to you. We left Mount Rogers about 9 o'clock Saturday morning to come back, and it was 70 degrees and 50, probably 75 miles from the mountain, it was 80, and when we got on 40 in Raleigh, it was 100. That's 30 degrees difference in about 3.5 hours. It was like 51, 52 at night. I'm telling you this also, you'll know how privileged I was. Okay, good. Well, we go finish up. I heard the printer was acting up, and so you didn't get a handout, so you have to spend a little more time listening today or taking notes. We're on, do we have there we are, the secrets. The secrets. The secrets is like a combination lock. I could give you this combination lock right here and tell you to unlock it, and you could spin and pull and spin and pull and spin and pull, and unless you're just lucky or unless you have a little insight, you probably could not unlock this lock. You know what? I would say that I could give you the code, and you probably could not unlock it. Okay? What does that number look like right there to you? The first one. Okay, let's try it. Joshua, come here. I don't know if this is work or not. Here's the slot. Turn around. The code is 340030. Okay. Good try. You want to try it? I'm going to let you see the code, just so you think. 340030. That was the code. Everybody see the code? Yes. You don't think I'm a lying passy? She said she really didn't know how to work one. Wait. This is so good, isn't it? And the reason I showed you this because this is a written code. This is a written code, and a lot of times we sit and listen to people tell us stuff, and we don't take notes or don't write anything down. And, well, I can't remember what exactly did he say. I think it was this. Anybody else want to try? Oh, Casey. See, everybody wants to try. What would be the appropriate way to do this? Can I hold the instructions? Can I hold the instructions? Talk to me a little bit. See, we want someone to tell us without going to the instructions. But let me read the instructions to it. The code is 340030. To open, turn right 3 times. Turn right 3 times, stop at the first number, turn left 1 full turn, passing the first number and stop at the second number, turn right and stop at the third number and pull shackle. And that's how you open it. Listen to what I'm telling you. Everybody in this room, me included, you have the opportunity to be successful in everything. But if you don't know the instructions and you don't know the code, you cannot be successful. Listen to me. This is so important. This is so important. It doesn't matter your skin color. Your skin color doesn't make you more successful or less successful. It's you don't know the codes. It doesn't matter where you're born, in South Carolina, D.C., Atlanta, or California. Success is not dependent on location. It's not dependent on genealogy. It's not dependent on it's not even dependent on education. How many people you know are educated that's dumb? Oh, let's think of a few. We might have some leading our nation. That's not being political. I'm just saying just overall. Just overall. You could probably give this to some politicians and they couldn't read it. Success is something that God wants everyone. If you are a parent in here and you look, I don't know, she probably won't, you do improv stuff. Come here for a minute. Come here. How many of you, if this was your daughter, how many of you would look at that and say, I hope you are just struggle your whole life. I hope you end up in 4 divorces. I hope you end up incarcerated. I hope you end up addicted. I hope you end up... You understand? You look at that and you say, I want success for you. I want you to have all the blessings beyond what I have. I want you to experience the love. I want you to experience everything God has in store for you. Even though you can wish that and want that, it doesn't mean she will have that. Wishing and wanting don't make you successful. Wishing and wanting doesn't make you a good Christian. How many people think, well, going to church is going to make me a good Christian? Reading the Bible don't make you a good Christian. Having an education don't make you smart. It give you a student loan debt. So anyway, my luck. Okay. So we could go into that, and then we could put the puzzles together, and then we could do all this other. This is all, your life is a puzzle, and it is putting the pieces together and knowing where the pieces go. So we're going to kind of skip through this. I am not going to read all of the sound guys, we don't have that, so we're going to have to put the print out. So we're going to need Joshua 1, 2 through 10. I'm going to read this quickly. Prepare to cross this Jordan River. Cross to the country I am giving the sons of God. If you're a believer, you're a son of God. I'm giving you every square inch of land you set your foot on. Mean you're going to have to put your foot on it and believe for it. It says here, just as I promised, it's all yours. All your life, no one will be able to stand against you. This is just a promise that God has given you and I, that no one can stand against you and what He has for you. Remember the story of David and Goliath. All the army was, when Goliath would come out and he would taunt them and call them names and make fun of them, they would shake in fear and run and hide. But David come on the scene and he went out and ran toward his giant. You've got to learn to run toward the very thing that's intimidating you. The very thing you're afraid of, the very thing you're scared of, the very thing that is threatening your well-being, you will have to face it. And Jesus says, in the same way I was with Jesus, or God said, I'll be with you. I won't give up on you. I won't leave you. Strength and courage. You're going to need strength and courage to win this battle. You're going to lead these people to inherit the land that I promised to give their ancestors. Listen to this now. Give it everything you have, heart and soul. This means, can you tell, I speak to parents for a minute, can you tell when your children have chores or you ask them to do something? Can you tell when they give it everything? You ever seen that? Go get me something. It's like, anything else, Mom? Oh, that's a rarity. Wouldn't it be something if you really acted like that, how much more you would possibly get in life? Give it everything you have. Listen, let me help you. If you would give everything to serving God, everything He has is yours. Parents say, did you read the Bible? I'm going to later. Did you go to work today? When I got up. Do you see how, can you imagine going to work when you feel like it? How successful you'd be on the job? I don't know why they're not promoting me. Well, let's check the time card. You're at your cubicle. Give it everything you have, heart and soul. Make sure you carry it out. Make sure you carry it out. It's not anybody else's responsibility. It's your responsibility to carry it out. The revelation that God has commanded you, every bit of it. Don't get off track. Don't get distracted. Don't get discouraged, either left or right, so as to make sure that you get to where you're going and possess overwhelming success in everything you undertake. And don't for a minute let the book of Revelation be out of mind. Ponder and meditate on it day and night, making sure you practice everything in it. Can I pause for a minute? Practice. You know, parents get their children involved in all kinds of things. They get involved in martial arts. They get involved in dance. They get involved in sports. And let me help you, all the parents. If your children is involved in some type of athletic or extracurricular activity, raise your hand. Okay, good. Let me tell you how I can tell you already whether they're going to be successful or if they're going to make money at it or whatever. They can be singing or whatever. If you don't hear your children walking around singing, if you don't see your children, where in the world? I haven't seen them for 2 hours, and they're in the back playing on the drums, playing the guitar, or they're standing in the front of the mirror, or they are taking a ball and throwing it against the wall and catching it. If your children are not throwing a ball against the wall and catching it, or throwing it and catching grounders, they're not going anywhere. If they only do it when they get to go to the game, or they only do it when they have to, did you practice? Oh, I will later. You might as well take them out of what they're doing and just enjoy it, because if they're not giving it everything they have, they will never be successful at it. It's got to be something where you're not told to do it. You're doing it, it comes out of something that's inside of you. And this whole thing about what I'm talking about, the biblical side of success, it's not something I'm told to do. It's something that's already in me that comes out of me. Y'all with me? Okay, let's see where it goes. The Revelation, ponder it day and night. Practice everything written in it. Then you'll get where you're going, making sure you practice everything, and you will enjoy incredible prosperity. Is that in there? That's in your Bible. That God wants you to enjoy incredible prosperity. Incredible marriage, incredible family, incredible everything. Everything you have, and you are supposed to be an incredible person. Haven't I commanded you strength and courage? You're going to need some strength and courage, because you're going to have rainy days, disappointing days. You're going to have some down days. Don't get discouraged. Abba, your Papa, is with you every step you take. So just say right now, say, I want incredible prosperity. That's not just money. I want incredible prosperity in my health. I want incredible prosperity in my marriage. I want incredible prosperity in everything I do. It is supposed to be incredible. That should be your middle name, incredible. My middle name is irresistible. I never told you what my middle name was. My name is Timothy Irresistible Hutto. Or you could say, my name is Amanda Remarkable. I am Josh the Incredible. I am Josh the Magnificent. Now, listen, it doesn't matter whether anybody else believes it. It matters whether you believe it. Because if you don't believe it, you will not portray it to anybody else. Jesus said, this is in Mark 9:23. Look at this scripture here, right here. This is one of those scriptures in the Bible that is so crazy. I didn't throw that up on the screen. Mark 9:23. Jesus said to him, what do you mean if you, that's you, your name, if Bertha is able to believe, all things are possible to Bertha. If you can believe for it, you can have it. Say that out loud. If I can believe it, I can have it. If I was to tell you just to tell the person beside you something, that you can that you could have something, they'd be like, yeah, for sure. Yeah. You know how that little facial? Yeah, for real. So see, this whole thing is about making your life count. All God's put in you, all the resources, all the talents, all the education you have, everything you have. This is about God putting something in you to make your life count. It's really important that my life counts. My dad has been passed for 10 years. Nobody knows my dad. Nobody talks about my dad. My dad lived a life. He loved to fish and he loved to talk, but he didn't live a life that made anything count. You know, you can live a whole life and produce kids and grandkids and have pictures taken, and nobody won't remember you for anything if you don't make your life count. I want my life to count. And guess what? All you in here that's saving all your money and you got it all stacked and saved, guess what? As soon as you die, someone's going to spend it. You've been saving it in that mason jar, and you got that tight. I mean, you've been saving. And when you pass, it'll be gone in a year. So here's where we go. We're jumping back on the next week. So answer this question. Do not ask the person beside you, because I don't want you to get offended. But ask yourself this: do I have an attractive personality? I don't have a mirror up here. If we could take a picture and freeze it right now and then look at it, and I'm telling you, people say, ooh, look at that person. Ooh, look at that person. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, don't. I mean, when people walk in, there's people, I'm not going to lie to you. You can lie. I can't lie in the church. I may get struck by lightning. I can walk in the church and see some people's face, and I'm like, I think I'm going to go this way. Now tell me how many people have not seen a face in church and you went the other way. Raise your hand. You know you have. You know you have. You don't realize your face, look at this, your face matters. You don't have to be handsome, pretty. You don't have to be thin. You don't have to be. If you can have all of everything going wrong for you, so to speak, and have a pleasant face, and you'll get blessed. Having a pleasant personality is an art. You know, I am not musically inclined, but I can take lessons to learn how to play. I may never learn how to play the way Casey plays, where he can hear sounds and just play. I may never be fluid, or I may never be bent, or they say play by ear, the way Casey does. Or you may be a singer that can hear a tune and you can just, I can't do that. But I could learn by instructions to play the piano. Guess what? You can learn to have a pleasing personality. And the reason children and teenagers don't is strictly not the children, it's the parents. Because you should be addressing the unpleasing personality. Because until you're pleasing, all I provide for you is water and food and clothing and one light bulb in your room. Screw in. Why should they have a pleasing personality when they have everything? Listen. I'm going to give you a bunch of stuff. Do you know much of your success depends on how you treat others? Because you can't be successful without you having other people involved in your life. It's going to take someone else to give you a job. It's going to take someone else to promote you. It's going to take someone else to hire you. It's going to take someone else. You know, you can go to get a loan for something. If they don't like you, they can deny you a loan. Your whole life depends on other people. So if you learn to be not a people pleaser, but if you learn to have an attractive personality, other people will always be blessing you. Now, if you have a hard time counting blessings, then you might not have a good personality. If you got to beg for stuff and manipulate for things and lie about things and embellish things and use things for leverage to get stuff, you might not have the personality that people want to invest in. I'm at the place in my life where people say, hey, you invite someone over, they say, hey, can I bring someone? Who you bringing? Nah, I don't think so. Don't rain on my parade by bringing people around me that don't have a good personality. Because there is no reason for you not to have a good personality. There's no reason. I think we should have it in church where certain personalities sit in certain places. 4 personalities. Which one are you? This one's for this one and this one and this one. That way we can figure out where we want to talk to people. So do I possess an attractive personality? Here's that. Do people seek me out? Who is one person in this group here that people have talked about seeking out on Sunday mornings when they come? They seek out Ma J. Why do they seek out Ma J? She hugs everybody. And she hugs you and won't let you go. You be like, how long is this hug going to last? It lasts until she's done. But people will seek her out for a hug. You know, people will seek you out for a smile. People will seek you out for an encouragement. People will seek you out for positive affirmation. People will seek you out to hear them say, how are you doing? People will seek you out. When people don't seek you out, that might be an indicator you don't have a pleasing personality. Well, nobody spoke to me. Let's talk about that for a minute. That's like going out into your garden and saying, I don't have any corn in my garden. The question is, did you plant corn? Well, no, I didn't plant any corn. Well, why are you looking for something you didn't plant? So why are you looking for someone to speak to you when you haven't spoke to anybody? Well, I don't fit in. Well, it's not whether you fit in, it's did you fit in? See, an attractive personality will fit you in without you being invited. Hello. I'm looking for a church I can fit in. Ooh. Do I demonstrate I care about others? See, people want to know that you care. You can tell when people care about themselves. You know, I have a sister-in-law, and she grew up in the Midwest, but she grew up, and they never had pets. And she is not fond of pets of any kind. Cats, dogs, anything. She's like, good. That's it. That's nice. She's not a pet person. Do you know that almost everywhere she goes, that dogs, their hackles come up on her back, and she's like, nice dog. They know, listen, they know and sense that she doesn't care for them. I want to tell you, if you know, and if a dog and a cat knows and sense that someone doesn't like them, can I tell you, humans know when you don't like people. I prefer to be alone. I prefer this. I prefer not to have crowds. That's why when you go in a crowd, everybody say, you're a square peg in a round hole. You don't fit in because you choose not to fit in. See, your personality distinguishes you. And it can make you negative or positive. The sun can be out. I wonder what the day's going to be like. It's probably going to rain. You have no clue. It's always something negative. Okay, Luke 14:28. I don't know how far we're going to get today. We're going to get there when we get there. It's okay for you to say, are we there yet? Y'all ready? Here it is. Is there anyone here in this room who is planning to build, this says a new house, but we're not talking about a house. We're talking about a successful life. We're talking about a successful marriage. We're talking about a successful career. Is there anyone here who planning to build a successful life doesn't first sit down and figure out the cost so you'll know if you can complete it? Here's a question. I want a happy marriage. Do you know what it's going to take to have a happy marriage? It means you're going to have to forfeit always being right. There it is. If you're going to always be right in the marriage, you're not going to have a happy marriage. You'll always be right, but you won't be happy. So you have to decide in this marriage, is this a situation I want to be happy in for the rest of the day? Or do I want to prove I'm right? You got to figure out the cost so you'll know if you can complete it. If you only get the foundation laid and then run out of money, you're going to look pretty foolish. Everyone passing by will poke fun at you. He started something he couldn't finish. I want to tell you, the world is full of people that start something that can't finish. I didn't know it was going to be this hard. I didn't know it was going to be this tough. I just didn't have no idea this marriage was this tough. Well, guess what? It's going to get tougher. I thought it was, you didn't count the cost in this situation. So let me tell you what you are. You are a druggist. You know what a druggist is? A druggist is someone who can take compound formulas, and put them together and created a repeated effect on the human body. That's what Tylenol is. A pharmacist, a druggist, knows what ingredients, compounds to put together to create Tylenol. And when they put these same amounts of drugs together every time, they can produce a repeated effect that will remove aches, pains, and fever. Now, when you start messing with the compound, you start messing with the effects. And see, a lot of us have mixed up some compounds because it's what mom and dad had. It's all that was in the house. And you started putting together some compounds, and the effects you have is why you got 5 divorces. When you've been married 5 times, your compounds are off. When all your kids go crazy when they leave the house, your parenting compound is off. Hello? When you have 5 credit cards maxed, your financial compound is off. When you've had your lights turned off 4 times a year, your compound's off. It's not that the compounds don't work, it's that you have mixed the wrong compounds. You put some procrastination in there, you put some delay, some gratification, and you'll get to it next month because you'd rather rob Peter and pay Paul. Come on, talk to me for a minute. Oh God, I don't know why you're doing it. Quit robbing Peter to pay Paul. I don't know why I keep getting further in debt. I don't know why I can't keep a man. Maybe if you would get rid of the Jezebel compound. Hello. Oh, goodness. Got to laugh a little bit. You got to have fun with this. Okay. See, I'm putting compounds. I'm giving you today, this is the 9th compound that I've given you to get ready to build a successful life. Now, if I was to ask you right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, how many of you, don't raise your hand on this, but I'm going to post. How many of you, see, a good druggist is kind of like I tell about the Bible. Here's the thing about the Bible. This is the greatest book. I love the Bible, okay? I don't know how many I got. But you know what? If I don't have my Bible, can I function? See, So here's my question. I'm not going to ask you, Joshua or Daniel or Bree, or Amanda, but if I said, okay, here's 9 up. Let's start right here. What is the first compound? Second compound. If you cannot name all 9 compounds, then you're not ready to produce anything. Well, I think we can't. Listen, when you're trying to make me a drug, don't be thinking what's in it. I don't want a pinch of anything unless it is supposed to be. See, we're willing to do a pinch, a dose, and a dab. No. I want to know what you're putting in the compound. And see, I got some bad news for you. You've been sitting in church so long, and they've given you some bad compounds. So, what's the 9? You don't have to name them. What are the 9 compounds? I can name 4. You're not ready to produce anything. Because you have to be able to sit and mix it at a moment's notice and know what compound, every compound, and we do have a pharmacist back here, a doctor. Now listen, every compound, Dr. Z, has an effect on a part of the body, correct? So therefore, you may need to block this part of a receptor so this other drug can get through. Are y'all with me? You're going to have to block something or slow it down or make it time released for it to work. And you can miss one part of the compound and not get the effect you want and wonder why it's not working. It's not complicated, but it does require some time. Does that make sense? So if a genie had a little lamp and said, I will grant you a wish, whatever wish, the only exception is you have to tell the truth about this wish or you lose everything. Y'all with me? So the genie is going to grant a wish, and the wish is you must tell the truth. What is your greatest desire? What is your greatest desire in life? Most people say, I don't know. Or it would be like, oh, I love ice cream, and 10 minutes later, oh, I love Butterfingers, and 10 minutes later, No, I'm not talking about not knowing. I'm talking about something inside of you. Your greatest desire is this. And you must be truthful about it. In this room, some of us would be afraid to share our greatest desire because people would be, that's dumb. You wasted a wish on that? Why didn't you think of something intelligent? You understand? So we won't share in truth our wishes because we really feel and we've heard. You may have a spouse that everything you say, that's dumb, that's stupid, that's dumb, that's stupid, you're stupid, that's dumb, that's ridiculous, that don't make no sense. You'll quit sharing because you don't know if your wish or your desire is important. And you've got to learn who you share things with, but you've got to learn. You've got to know what's inside of you. Does that make sense? So we talked last week about first impressions and why first impressions are important. Why are they important? First impressions. When you see someone, if I walked in here, which I don't have any hair, but if I walked in here and my hair was all over the place and I looked disheveled, you'd say, wow, he must not have combed his hair. He must have, and you walk in and your clothes are not ironed, and or you know you got 2 different color shoes on, 2 different shoes. I've done that. You're not done that. I've done that. I've wore 2 different shoes, and then I laugh about it. But when people look at you, Listen, 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 listen. Everybody listen. I know you want to hear something about Jesus. I'm telling you about Jesus. But can I tell you, children and parents, this is what you should do to all your children. Let me smell your breath. Blow. Okay. Bad breath affects. Come on. I know y'all. I know. I'd be talking to people and I'd be like, I'd be trying to duck the wind currents. It's not a personal thing, but I mean, I don't know how effective it is, but you could go. I mean, that would help a little bit. Listen. First impressions matter. I'm not trying. I'm just saying there are clothes that I wear to certain places and I don't wear anywhere. I have yard clothes. And and when they're yard clothes, they're yard clothes. I have certain shoes. Look at those. These don't get much wear. They're from my going out shoes. I don't wear the shoes I cut grass in. Come on and talk to me a little bit. I don't wear the shoes that I work in the garden in. I don't wear. It matters. I'm not saying it's right and wrong. I'm saying it matters that when you walk up to someone, oh, goodness, help me. I'm talking to the men. All the women, if you're a woman in the house and you got a husband, raise your hand. Or you had a husband, raise your hand. Or you've been married, raise your hand. You know what you should do? You should call your husband up there. You need to go trim those hairs in your nose. And you got 3 hairs that's about that long sticking out your ear. Go trim that. Go trim that. I want you to look good. I'm trying to talk to somebody and I keep looking at the hairs in their nose. I'm like, Dad, come on and talk to me for a minute. Hello. I know you're saying, well, what's this have to do with Jesus? Jesus can't make you successful when you have no desire and understanding that everything I do matters. Well, if Jesus wants me successful, no, he can't make you successful when you don't know how to groom yourself. That Jesus, I don't know why. It has nothing to do with Jesus. It has to do with you. Look in the mirror. Get up close, look in the mirror and say, yeah, I probably could trim that, and I probably could trim that, and okay. So to develop, listen to this, to develop a compound. This is a big compound. This is a compound. It's got a lot of ingredients in it. Remember what I told you last week? This is just on number 9, developing an attractive personality, a pleasing personality. How do you attract one if you don't? How do you make a product, Dr. Z can help me out. How do you make a final drug and you don't know what's in the drug? It's not possible. So how do you have a pleasing personality and attractive personality when you don't know what makes a pleasing personality? I'm not telling you I know everything. I'm telling you I am learning what's in it, and I have got to work on how much of this compound I have. I need another dash of this. I need like a quarter a cup of this. I need a 5-pound bag of this. I mean, I'm really low on this component. So you can get the paperwork next week that will help you. So the first thing, there's up to 25 qualities in a pleasing personality. You say, oh my goodness, you have a lot of them. You just don't realize and know what they are. So last week we talked about the first one, which is a positive mental attitude. A positive. Here's not a positive. You know, it's September, it's flu season. You better get the flu shot. Everybody's going to get sick. That's not very positive. Can you not skip a year without getting the flu? A positive mental attitude is so big. A positive mental attitude opens doors and opportunities for you. Positive mental attitude opens doors and opportunity for you. Okay, so you ready? I'm gonna kind of go through these quickly. We can touch on them again. Number 2 is flexibility. You've got to learn to be flexible because you're going to encounter situations and circumstances that happen right at the moment that you didn't anticipate, that you're going to have to make an adjustment to and not say, now what are we going to do? You adjust and you keep going. You got to adapt yourself quickly to a situation and to circumstances without it derailing you and be able to keep going. It may not be at 100%, but we are not going to stop. We're going to cancel everything. No, we're going to make the adjustment. The printer was jamming this morning. Okay? That's why there's not a handout. The printing was jamming. The printer was jamming. They tried all kinds of things, but it quit jamming. So they're going to have to do a service call because it's jamming. When you're not able to produce a component, you need to do a service call. Don't live with the jams. Don't live with the issues. I'm going to get someone to help us get through this. But you know what? Wouldn't that be something if you come in this morning and they said, church is canceled this morning, the printer is jammed. That's good. I'm glad. You don't cancel situations because if you know your material and you know what you're doing, I don't need a printout to worship. Hey, I don't need a printout to say thank you, Lord. I don't need to buy. I may have left my Bible. I just can't find God this morning. He don't live in your Bible anyway. I don't need a Bible nor a screen to preach. I'm preaching out of my walk with God. I don't need a component to do this. So you've got to get all these little secrets I'm giving you and these components that I don't have to walk around with a list and with 25 components on it saying, well, this is opportunity right now. I need to be flexible. This is opportunity right now. No, I'm able to adjust and be flexible right here. I'm able to adjust and smile right here. I'm able to... Come on, everybody do that selfie smile. Look at her laugh right there. See, that's not a selfie smile. A selfie smile, when you laugh, you're like, that, and then the selfie cheese. That's so fake, man. Yeah, you posing. You a poser, you. So flexibility, what does that mean? It means in emergencies, I don't panic. In emergencies, I don't get anxiety. I'm getting anxiety. No. I'm flexible. I don't get anxiety when something goes wrong. Number 3, sincerity of purpose. People can tell when you're sincere. Have you ever been talking to somebody and you can tell they really don't want to be talking to you? They're just not dialed into you. They're just not listening to you. No amount of acting can disguise an insecure person. How about promptness of decision? This is real big. Promptness, yep. Number 4, promptness of decision. A pleasing personality, even though you may not see this, there's some people that just struggle making decisions. What do you think I should do? Well, I don't know. I don't want to make the wrong decision. That is not promptness of decision. When you have what was number 3 of the secrets, habit of saving. Number 4 is one of these. Initiative and leadership. Self-confidence. Is that 5? That's imagination. Number two, right here, to make prompt decisions, you got to have self-confidence. The reason you can't make a decision and you're like dragging out, I just don't know what I should do. I just don't know what I should do. You lack self-confidence. Self-confidence will help you make a prompt decision. You know where self-confidence comes from? A positive mental attitude. All these are interconnected. When I think back in decisions I make, when I got to make a decision, I've made lots of decisions. They've all been successful, so therefore I can make another one. So I'm willing to make a decision. You're even willing to give people counsel and advice on the spur of the moment. Yeah, I can do. No, don't do that. Yeah. How can you do that so quick? Self-confidence, observation, awareness, knowing the Word. Uh-oh, y'all ready for number 5? This is a bad word right here. Do we even know what courtesy is? Oh, parents, talk to me for a minute. How dare your children go anywhere and don't speak to people? Look at me. How dare your children go anywhere and can't open their mouth and speak? Let them sit in the car. They make you look bad. When I was growing up, someone talked to you. You didn't say, yep. Yep. Yeah. It's yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. That's not even done today. I don't know, in this room right here, look at all the parents in this room. You heard Mama D and you've heard Ma J give parenting and say, make your kids say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. And to this day, they still don't say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. What is that? There's an old saying for that. In one ear, out the other. Hey, family, we're going to stop by and get a cone ice cream. Good. I won't. You don't get anything until you learn to say yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're not going to learn it today. We're going to learn it tomorrow, every day of your life. When you're not courtesy, do you know that courtesy carries you a long ways? We were getting ready to leave the mountains yesterday, and they had a community breakfast there. And I sit there at the table, and people walk in. They didn't know. Hello, how are you? How are you? Good morning. How are you? How are you? I mean, by the time they got to the food line, they spoke to 15 people. And people come into church, and you don't ever open your mouth, don't smile, don't do anything. Go sit in the car. People like, is something wrong with me? 3 hairs out my nose? 2 hairs here? What is it? What's wrong? Why haven't we taught our children and our teenagers to speak? And when they don't, and you discipline, well, that's unfair. It's unfair that based on the compounds you put together, you're not going to be successful. You're not wearing that. But I like it. I know you like it. So y'all want to hear about Jesus. Jesus loves me, this I know. How the Bible tells me so. Little ones to him belong. They are weak, but he is strong. That don't make you successful. Sing it and see if it makes you successful. He's already successful and he's living in you, but he can't get out of you because you don't have the compounds for him to get out of. Hello. Courtesy is the cheapest and most profitable of all the components. It don't cost you anything to smile. It don't cost you anything to say hello. It helps you build confidence. Someone may say, well, hey, how are you? What's your name? Well, it opens dialogue up for conversation. But no, we want to, hey, how are you? And we give that selfie smile. I'm not going to have them to put it back up there. God says, I want you to have incredible prosperity and success. These components are what helps you be successful. And they are an art that helps you learn this. Courtesy is the habit of respecting other people's feelings under all circumstances. Does that make sense? See, listen to this. Courtesy is not using the right fork. Courtesy is not, it's not eating with your mouth closed. That's manners. Courtesy comes from awareness born out of a positive mental attitude. See, I know what makes people feel bad. I know, I can't remember, Missy. Am I right? Ah, you know my name? I know your name. I remember Missy saying last week, when I was using her, when she walked in, Shakima made sure at some point during worship went back and hugged her. Can I tell you, I don't know what Missy was feeling, but I know when I go into an area, first thing I'm doing, do I know anybody? I'm trying to find someone I can like, hey, I know you. I'm trying to identify with someone because I feel out of place in this room. So when someone comes up and speaks to you, it gives you a sense of, hey, I have a point of contact. So it takes everything for everybody to muster the energy. Who wants to get up and get dressed and go to a church? Who wants to really do that? So then when you go to church and no one speaks to you and no one is courtesy to you and no one smiles at you and no one, then you're like, I knew I should have stayed home. Thank everybody for coming. There's no hairs growing out my nose and there's no hairs in my ear. I got deodorant on and I'm wearing cologne. Woo! As Ric Flair would say, woo! Tact. Oh, here's another one. How about tact? T-A-C-T. This is part of your personality. Tact. 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 No, there is a right moment and wrong moment for everything. And some people are insecure and they will laugh in an awkward time. You ever had that? What's funny? It's their insecurity coming out. They're just trying to get out of that uneasiness. They say really dumb things like, well, you know, God needed another angel in heaven. That was my little girl. He didn't need her. Don't say that God needed another little angel. He's got all the angels he needs. We say like, well, how did he die? How did he die? It doesn't matter. He's been dead 4 hours. It doesn't matter how he died at this moment. And we just say the foolish things out of our mouth because we don't have self-confidence. We don't know tact. We don't know how to communicate under pressure. Tact. Tact is the habit of doing and saying the right thing at the right moment. I'm going to give you a few right here. Here's some common bad tact. Carelessness in our tone of voice. How about this? Speaking out of turn. I'm in conversation with you. Who is she? Who are you? You're in a conversation and someone, well, I heard what you were saying. Who are you? A and B is in a conversation and, well, I heard you talking, but I wanted to. How about this? Interrupting others. Come on, parents, talk to me. Hey, stand up, stand up. Parents, they're in conversation. Here's your kids. Can I? What are you doing, parents? I can't. Yeah, you can. You can get a whipping right here in about 2 seconds. Sit down. Listen, parents, listen, let me help you. You are to train your children. We're talking about teaching them to have attractive personality. You do. When I'm in conversation, son, you never approach me unless there is a rattlesnake hanging off your arm. Just point. Oh, my God. You don't interrupt if there is an emergency. And you're watching the siblings, you don't interrupt. When I pick up the telephone, everything in the room goes silent. I don't have to say, shh, 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 shh. When I pick up the phone, your brain says, I know how that's going to feel if I say anything. This mouth and this right here is connected. Hello. I mean, you'll be the, we all get a whipping. We all get in trouble. We cry. You wonder why you can't get a business? If I hear anything in the background going on, your business is shot. I don't want to hear rock and roll. I don't want to hear rap. I don't want to hear country. I don't want to hear kids. I don't want to hear anything but you talking to me. I know, you're just too hard. Well, let's compare success here then. Break your banking account out, break your marriages out, break your life out, put it on the table and say, look, I'm successful. If you can't do that, then you have to be able to say, some compounds are wrong in my life. I'm taking the pill every day. Maybe you're taking the red pill or the blue pill. What pill are you taking? I don't know. It's just a pill. Tact. Going where you were not invited. Mm-hmm. How about this? Tact. Demonstrating over familiarity. Hello? Number 7. I got about 10 on that one, but number 7, tone of voice. Meaning is in your tone, not in your words. Meaning is in your tone, not in your words. Meaning is in your tone, not in your words. How your tone is determines attractive personality. Number 8, put that picture up there of the girl. The beautiful girl. Look at this. Look at that. Boy, I don't mind looking at that. Some of you need to get a tattoo like that. Some of you need to get a tattoo so you can see that tattooing. To remind you to smile. Smiling is free. Is that not an attractive personality? That's a skill. That's a skill. It's just, smile, everybody. See, that's a skill. I'm not going to lie to you. I won't lie to you. I have to practice smiling all the time. I have to look in the mirror and smile. I know what the selfies. Half smile, fake smile, teeth smile. I know you got to know the smile. What smile is the most attractive? Some people are gifted. That right there is a gifted smile to me. When I look at Ma J, that's a gifted smile. Diane has a gifted smile. Shakeem, different people. I'm not gifted in smiling. I got to work on it. And you have to start with the selfie smile. I don't know if that's a smile or a pain. You have to start somewhere and develop the habit of smiling. Listen, smiling and tone go together. Smiling is appealing. Smiling will absolutely dismantle feelings toward people. Because you don't know. How many of you ever around people and you don't know if they like you or not? Some people want you to think they don't like them. Some people want you to know they don't like you. And I'm like, I don't care if you don't like me. Because if that's the way you are, then guess what? Your success is already in a bottle. Time in a bottle, your success is in a bottle. You do not get to not like people and be successful. Now you got to define success. And I'm not here to define it for you. Have you ever done everything you know to do to get people to like you and they still don't like you? You know what you have to do? You have to X them out and say, you go on about your own self because I'm done. I just X them out. I've tried everything I know. X. So that means everything I have, X is not yours. Facial expression. I'm going to start doing that when I come in the morning. Good morning. Facial expression. Expressions tell people what's on your mind. Look at have you ever, honestly, have you ever looked, you don't have to get technical, look at how many emojis there are in faces. Have you ever really looked at how many emojis? I mean, cockeye. All you have to do is send an emoji and it tells people where you are. Your face is a real emoji. Do you realize you cannot have a pleasing personality and not understand emojis? I could do a message on emojis. Number 10, tolerance. See, tolerance shows our disposition toward people we don't believe in what they believe. Tolerance. You got to be tolerant even if you don't agree. You got to be, everybody gets to decide their life. But I have to be tolerant. The Baptist needs to be tolerant of the Methodist. The Methodists, need to be tolerant of the Pentecostal. And the Pentecostal, it's like, well, I'm Baptist and King James Version. They're not tolerant of anything else. And then the holiness, well, I believe in the Spirit and run in the back of the pews. And they're not tolerant of anything else. That is not, you got to be tolerant. No one is telling you you can't worship the way you worship. It's just at this point in time, that's not what we're doing. So there's more division among churches than there are anything. You got to be tolerant. I'm not saying tolerant of principles, but that's not in your sphere of faith. That you encounter someone and they may be atheists. I'm tolerant of an atheist. You're not very smart, but I'm tolerant. If you don't believe in there's a God, you're not very smart, but I'm tolerant. You get to believe what you want to believe. How about this? 11, frankness of speech. This is so big, frankness of speech. If there's one thing that bothers me, this is my opinion, it's people telling me stuff indirectly. Or it's people, somebody ready to go home. They like, I'm intolerant of anything after 12 o'clock. My alarm is set at 12. Anything over 12, I'm intolerant. Messing with my Golden Corral buffet. Frankness. It's, you got to read between the lines or hint. I don't read between the lines. Tell me what you need to tell me. Just tell me. When you can't be frank, you're insecure. You're more worried about people not liking you or what they think than you are being frank to tell them the truth. I mean, if I had 3 hairs growing out my ear, you'd be like, you're trying to think of a strategy to get that. Number 12, keen sense of humor. See, I'm ministering here this morning with the keen sense of humor. You got to laugh. You got to laugh serving the Lord because you go do some dumb things. You got to laugh. You go say some things. Keen sense of humor. A well-developed sense of humor aids you in becoming flexible and adaptable to life's varying circumstances. Humor makes life easier. But you got to be careful that you just don't humor your way about everything. Number 13, faith in God. Part of a pleasing personality is faith in God. God is my source. Everything I'm talking to you about, my success, my prosperity, my health, everything about me, everything about you is rooted and sourced in God. That's my faith. That's part of a pleasing personality. Number 14, keen sense of justice. Justice. This is important. This is a dedication to intentional honest. I'm going to be honest with people. You may get upset with me temporarily, but I'm going to be honest with you. When you are honest with people, they will respect your honesty. They may not like the directness sometimes, but they will, so-and-so is always going to be honest. And when someone wants an honest answer, they will seek you out and say, hey, I need an honest answer, and I know you'll give it to me. But when you're like, yeah, you're all right. You're good. Listen to me. Neutrality, listen to this. Neutrality and generality erodes away justice. Generalities and neutrality erodes away justice and honesty. You have got to learn to be honest. Y'all ready? Number 15. We're trucking along here. Appropriate use of words. A pleasing personality, appropriate use of words. Words are as important as plans. Your words need to be precise, clear, and encouraging. You ever talk to somebody and you're like, I have no clue what they just said? I have no clue what they just said. I have no clue what they just said. You walk away like, I didn't catch it. I mean, there's people like that. You don't understand nothing. They can say 5 sentences and you can't even piece them together. Emotional control. Let me tell you about, I'm back up. Appropriate words. Effective speech. Let me say something about effective speech. Listen to me. This is very important. Effective speech is not your vocabulary. It's knowing when to use your vocabulary. Okay, listen to me. Shakima and I and Amanda, we're lawyers, okay? We're all attorneys. And I'm talking to everybody in here about estate planning and about cease and desist. You know what? Who knows what that... Or I am in the financial, I'm in Wall Street, and I'm talking about Roth IRAs. And it's okay to communicate with your coworkers in your discipline. But when you step out here, leave your work at work. I don't want to know attorney words. I don't want to know medical words. I don't want to know financial words. You got to communicate on people's level, and that's what makes you a great communicator. I don't have to use words to impress you. I can come down to your level and talk to you. What did he say? What did she say? I done lost track. What is that word? I don't know how many syllables was in that word. You got to be able to talk to the common person in the common language and not using terminology and jargon that's way up here. It will alienate you from people. That is not a pleasing personality. We're not talking about intellectual and smartness. We're talking about people wanting to get around and talk to you. People don't want to sit there and like, I never heard that word. I never heard that word. I never heard that word. I never heard that. I can't even pronounce that word. What is that word? That's like trying to talk to someone in Spanish and you talk in English. Like, are we on the same page? No, we're not on the same page. Effective speech is the ability to do your tone, the right timing, assessing who I'm talking to, and pulling from my vocabulary how I need to talk to you to be a good communicator. It's a skill. Alertness of emotional control, number 17. I'm trying to get these done for you. Emotional control. Almost everything you do is directed by your feelings. Feelings uplift you or hurl you down. Feelings can make you feel like a winner, make you feel like a loser. It can make you feel strong, it can make you feel weak. Use good emotional control. Emotions are a reflection of your mental attitude. I could get more into that later. 18, alertness of interest. This is real big. You must fix your interest on the person you're talking to. You must lock in and not pay attention to Carissa back there. You know, you be talking to somebody and somebody, well, you got to stay locked in to the person, because once you get distracted and you start drifting, that you start telling that person you're done. (19) Versatility. No matter how much you know about a field, unless you can, listen to me, this is so good. No matter how much you know about your field of interest, versatility is knowing about a lot of fields of interest. Let me just use this. This has nothing to do with politics, but I'm going to say it. Everyone in this room should have watched the debate, whether you like Trump or whether you like Biden. You should have watched the debate, because that is the center of a topic on everybody's thing is Biden, Trump, Republican, Democrat. You cannot communicate about something you didn't see, because you can't defend something you didn't see. When you need to know something about law, you need to know something about politics, you need to know something about justice reform, you need to know something about immigration, you need to have an intelligent and gather the facts so you are not regurgitating CNN, MSNBC, or Fox News. Well, they said, who said? Do you know? Well, no, they said. No one cares what they said. It's what you know. You've got to dig in and be able, well, I don't keep up with that. You immediately, a pleasing personality can talk about a lot of different things. You don't have to talk in depth, because most people don't know in depth. But I don't have a clue. You need to have a clue. I'm telling you what is part of a pleasing personality. Number 20, fondness of people. I kind of hit on that earlier. People know when you meet someone, you know whether they liked you or not. I hope no one leaves here and didn't think I like them. I like you, 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 I like you. I like you. Yes, I do. You have a gift. I like you. You need to make people feel, when you do all these things, you learn. You're not trying to go home with a list. Oh my gosh. You begin to understand them and implement them, and when people leave, they're like, man, I enjoyed talking to Sarah. Every time I talk to Sarah, I feel uplifted. Every time I talk to Sarah, she takes an interest in my conversation. Every time I talk to Sarah, she uses words that uplift me. Every time I talk to Sarah, she is smiling the whole time. I must be funny. You understand? It is building this fondness of people. If you do not like people, you will not have an attractive personality. You will not. Number 21, humility. Humility is not quietness. Humility is not humbleness, they say. Humility is not quiet and all that. Humility is that all that I am and all that I have is a gift for you. All my success is about helping you become successful. 22, effective showmanship. Wasn't there a movie out, The Showman? The Greatest Showman. You remember that? Who was in that? Hugh Jackman. He had one of these larger-than-life personalities. He was just vivacious. Let me tell you what a showman is. A showman is the ability to take all these components and master them and put them together, that it creates a magnetism that is like, wow, smiling and energetic and all this. It's you mastered it. It's not arrogance. It's not boastfulness. It's just I have mastered these 25 traits to such a level that I am a showman. And then people that don't have that, that's a little too much for me. It's all right. You're not tolerant. We're good. Okay. Y'all know about this. It's bringing life to your personality is what showmanship is. 23, clean sportsmanship. Clean sportsmanship. Parents, listen to me. Your children are going to lose. And I do not believe in participation trophies. 0. I know you spending $200, $300 a month to get them into that. There's no participation trophies. There's a winner and there's a loser. Sorry. Second place is first place loser. No, I'm just kidding. You do need to teach your children. It's okay. What did you learn from this? Maybe you should work harder. Maybe you should practice more. Maybe you should... What are you doing? Good sportsmanship. Win without boasting and lose without excuses. Well, I would have won. I would have won if I'd have got that, but you didn't. I would have won if she wouldn't have put that card down. Don't let that stuff slide. Stop that. That's excuses that puts in their mind, well, I really did win, but there's no but in it. You didn't win. You did not win. Look, you did not win. I won. I won. Look at the person beside you and say, look, I won. '24, we're almost done. 24, good handshake. Let me tell you what's fascinating to me. When we were up in the mountains, we met someone that came by the house, and they come up. I don't know, she's probably 40 years old. You know what? Hey, my name is, and she'd share, hey, my name, men, handshakes are not for men. Handshakes aren't for men. They're for everybody. That is showing your self-confidence as a female when, hey, how are you doing? That's not man. That is self-confidence. I am trying to get myself out there. And this person went around, I don't know, 4 or 5 people. Hi, and you got to introduce yourself, not just, don't. Come on, listen. A good handshake demonstrates self-confidence. It demonstrates most all these qualities. Greg has a good handshake. You have to take Tylenol after you shake his hand. What's wrong with you? Don't shake hands with him. He like this. Okay. I am only 5'4". Here's one for you, 25. Y'all ready for 25? Personal magnetism. Now listen to this. This is going to mess some of y'all people up in here because you're like, well, I can't believe. Let me tell you what personal magnetism is. It's your sexual energy. Now listen to me. It is not seduction. It is not being flirtatious. It is not a come on. It is taking your driving force of who you are. It is taking you, all these components together, and using it into shaping who you are as a man or a woman. It is your sexual drive being pushed. It has nothing to do with sex. It has to do with using the energy. Y'all with me? And that's what creates dynamic personalities. That's what creates magnificent, larger than life, showmanship personalities. That this whole thing, they're the woman of women, they're the man of men. They're just so confident and masculine or feminine, whatever. And they're able to project that in such a way that it's like, wow. Does that make sense? It's using your style, your tone of voice, your gestures, your posture, your positive mental attitude. It's putting it all together in who you are, and it's just suave. Now, let me leave you with a verse here. You get anything out of this? A little bit? Let me leave you with a verse. I want to show you something here. Because I think this verse can be used different ways, but this verse has been misused. Revelations 3:16. Will you put that up there in the message, please? I'm going to show you a spin on a verse. Revelations 3:16. Thank you for letting me get through those 25 components. Thank you for being tolerant. Thank you for being fond of me. Thank you for your alertness. Listen to this. Jesus said here in Revelations 3:16, I know you inside and out. Listen to this. Jesus said this, and I find little to my liking. Oh, pause right there. That's in your Bible. This is in your Bible. Jesus says, I know you inside and out, and I find little to my liking. Why? Because you're not cold, you're not hot. Far better to be either cold or hot. You're stale and stagnant, and you make me want to vomit. Now that's in your Bible. What is he saying? You don't have any enthusiasm. You're not all in. You don't give it all you got. Whatever happens, happens. You don't speak with frankness. Everybody has to read between the lines. You're a people pleaser. You don't have a pleasing personality. You don't care whether it comes or goes, if you make it or don't, if you're well or if you're sick. You know, God's in control. If it happens, it happens. You are drift like a kite with a string cut. God says, I don't want you hot and I don't want you cold. I don't want you. He said, it's better for you to be cold or hot, but don't be in the middle. How many of our personalities are it's just who I am. It's not who you are. It's who you made yourself to be. Well, I'm like your mama. It doesn't mean your mama was right. I'm like my daddy. It doesn't mean your daddy was right. There's things about my mama I love, and there's things about my mama I don't love. There's things about my daddy I love, and there's things I don't want to be like my daddy. The issue, you've got to go through the list and say, this is good, this is good, this is good, this is good. There's only 4. I got 21 things to work on. You got some of all these traits here. All you need to do is tune them up. All you need to do is hone them. All you need to do is whittle on them. All you need to do is fertilize some. All you need to do is just say, you know what? I'm going to have a pleasing, attractive, irresistible personality. Look at the person beside you and say, you are irresistible. Yes, you is. Stand with me. Yes, you is. You already know right now the areas, little things you need to work on. Maybe it's habits you need to curtail. Maybe it's things I want to, but I've been so fearful that people would laugh at me. It's okay. They go laugh at you. They laugh at me. Maybe sometimes you want to laugh and you don't because whatever. But this is what I want to pray. Father, I thank you. You made everyone in this room to become a pleasing personality. I speak over every woman and every man, every child and every girl, every young boy, every teenager, that they will hear what makes an attractive personality and begin to create and begin to work on a pleasing personality. I pray over the parents and grandparents in this room that they would become artists and they would begin to mold and shape their grandchildren and children into pleasing personalities. You're going to be successful, son. You're going to be successful, daughter. You're going to be successful, grandson. I know I have not demonstrated the right characteristics at times under pressure in bad situations, but I am here to mold and shape you into an attractive personality so you will be more successful than I've been, so you will be more successful than anybody. I say this to you. You can be the most successful person in your entire family. I don't care what your siblings, your brothers, your aunt, your uncles, I don't care about anybody around you. You have the potential to be the most successful person in your family. Say it. I will be the most successful. I am going to have a dynamic personality. All that I am and all that I have is because of God. I'm going to smile more. Start smiling right now. I'm going to smile more. I'm going to laugh more. I'm going to love people even when they get on my nerves. I'm going to keep my earrings on even when I get angry. Come on. I got tact. Say it, I got tact. I will be courteous to people. I will shake hands. I'm not intimidated, not insecure. In your name, Jesus, I receive all that you have for me.